I've chosen to tackle a problem that I think is needed to be solved, and that's what inspires me to do it every single day.
You're not in it for the money, you're not in it for the fame. You're in it because you get to go home at the end of the day and feel like you're making a difference in the world.
Anybody could be a change maker in society. Anybody.
When disasters hit, lots of people rush in to help. But 60% of donated goods end up in landfills. So what people really don't get is that disaster relief oftentimes is an environmental disaster in and of itself. My father taught me to always do my best and to be hardworking in Vienna. That's my favorite one, Daddy.
That's me
Yeah, that's you.
and my family.
He was born in Vienna, Austria, and fled that country after the Nazis invaded when he was 14 years old, and ultimately ended up in the United States and in Washington, D.C. It's got to be their wedding, right? Because she's got flowers.
Mm.
My mother is also a survivor of the war. That was one of the bonds that united them. My parents always had this feeling like, why were they spared when so much of our family had died during World War II? And they concluded they must be spared because they're supposed to do good in the world, and they passed on that same conviction to me. I am a trained attorney. I like to refer to myself as a recovering trial attorney. After I spent about 19 years litigating cases, one of my closest friends said that everything about your values and who you are says you should run a nonprofit. So that's when I found Good 360, and it seemed like a perfect match. What about children's clothes? Do they need children's clothes?
Yeah, I mean, children.
Good 360 is in the business of giving. We take things that companies make and give them to people who need them. This competition is important because what we're trying to do is change the way donations are given during disaster relief. And we believe that with Verizon as a partner, we can help millions of people.
Size 4 boost for boy!
At the time of a disaster, everyone, companies large and small, people like yourself and myself, all want to help. So they come rushing into the area and they start sending tons of goods. That sounds good, except they're usually the wrong goods at the wrong time, going to people who don't need them, and they clog up the critical supply chain that occurs at the time of disaster. So what we're proposing is a disaster recovery portal, which is our mobile app. The nonprofits will have this tool in their hand, and they will immediately be able to state exactly what they need. We provide logistics, shipping and handling and staging of goods to ensure that we get the right stuff to the people who need it the most. In many ways, when I think of disaster relief, I think about this horrific tragedy that my parents survived. When disaster strikes, whether it's from war, or whether it's a typhoon, or whether it's a hurricane, your life is shattered, the people you love may be lost and gone forever, your possessions are gone. So what I try to do in my work is help people rebuild their lives. If you get a clean pair of clothes, good-smelling shampoo, you start to feel human again. You know, this is a labor of love. You're in it because you get to go home at the end of the day and feel like you're making a difference in the world.